Well, hey there. A Monday update on Monday this week. Look how we're doing, how we're off to a little bit better start this week. Well, as we started doing last week, let me tell you three things that we're going to cover in this video update from Union Hill this Monday on April the 20th, 2020. The number one thing is going to be about our new staff member, Ben Schnipper. Then about our governor's call and how that relates particularly to Mother's Day this year. And then just a couple of notes on our blood drive. So let's get right to it. First of all, Ben is here. That is, he's not physically here, but Ben Schnipper, this is his first day on the job. I already have a text into him to say, call me when he's available. Now, I want to remind you, or just let you know, some of you may not have heard this the first time, but for the first few weeks here, Ben is still working a job with Heritage Academy in Columbia. That's a Christian school, and he's still working that job. That's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays during the day. And so he is not available to us on those days until late afternoon, evening, and we want to respect that deal. We knew we were going to get him part-time at the beginning. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, most probably he will not spend most of his time here because we do so many things via video, and taking the stay-at-home and shelter-in-place orders still in effect seriously. We'll probably see him mostly via video, and I'll interact with him, of course, on the phone, much like I do Brother Frank these days and Shelly. That's just how we're doing it. So he probably won't be on site for a little while, but I want you to hear, some of you heard last Wednesday, and I didn't put it in this video, and got in a little trouble last Thursday at praise team practice because I shot my mouth off and fussed at him for not watching my video, and it turned out it wasn't in the video. So, they had fun with me, and now you can have fun with me about that also. But anyway, some of you may not know for that reason that Ben and Peggy sold their house in like 2 days. So thank you so much for praying for that. And they're looking for a house in Holt Summit. And that timeline, we'll just have to see how that goes when they can move and all those things. And man, moving could be a treat, huh? With all these restrictions and things like that. But I want to encourage you, if you want to know a little bit more about Ben and just get a feel of the kind of man we're getting and the minister we're getting and his family, you ought to look up Genesis Church in Mexico, Missouri. I believe their website is genesisbegins.com, but you can find them on Facebook as well. And watch the first 8 or 10 minutes of their video from Sunday. They did a wonderful tribute. Ben and Peggy themselves did a wonderful goodbye, though it was very odd, I'm sure, very strange because they weren't there in person. But then their church had collected up some testimonies, and it's fun to watch for me. I mean, I realize it's a sad deal for them, but you get a good feel of the kind of minister and the kind of man that Ben is, and the kind of family he and Peggy are and are raising. And I encourage you that, and just be praying for Ben in the transition. Tomorrow we'll have a video with him on it, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, that kind of thing. But that'll just go out on Realm to introduce his entire family, he and Peggy and the girls. So that's just going to go out on Realm to protect the privacy of the girls. I think most of you could understand that. So once again, if you're not connected on Realm, man, you ought to be. But then we'll put out a video with Ben and Peggy for a little broader audience on Facebook and just generate some excitement about that. But be praying for Ben. I'm super excited. I am so happy to have him on staff, and looking forward to years and years of great ministry. Be praying for Ben and Peggy and the girls, and they'll be with us virtually very soon. And in the days ahead, you'll see more and more of them. All right, number 2, Mother's Day. And actually, Mother's Day has to do with our governor's call, because right now the target by our executive branch of the state government, that is our governor's office, is to start to ease the restrictions the week before Mother's Day. May 4th is the target date for that. I think that's auspicious because, of course, that is Star Wars Day. For those of you who are unfamiliar, let me just kind of educate you here for free. that it's May 4th because May the 4th be with you. If you had a lisp, that would be May the 4th be with you. So anyway, there you go. That was fun. But May the 4th is the target date to start to ease the restrictions. Now, I say ease the restrictions. They're not going to go away. I'm confident. And the governor has promised us as pastors more and more guidance as we go forward. But what that means is that potentially Mother's Day, we could begin to have in-person services. And I just want to tell you, while that's very exciting to me and to others, I think it's potentially as difficult to think through all the possibilities and all the right things to do and practices to hold on that day as it has been at any time in this outbreak. It has been very difficult to not meet together, but I think it will be very challenging to try to do this well and respectful of each other. And so I want you to begin praying for that day right now. Now, some of you have been praying for, the sort of, behold, Lord, come quickly. We want that day to come soon, but be praying for me and for Ben, for Vonda, and for Brother Frank, and for our deacons as we make decisions about what that looks like and how we can possibly carry off prudent, wise practices to hold worship services again, but also to meet the needs of everybody in our community. Of course, we still have at-risk folks, and I don't anticipate that the COVID-19 will be gone by that time. I don't anticipate that the restrictions will be totally gone and we'll just be back to normal. I think it'll be, like we said earlier, I think it'll be a good while before we're back to normal. Excuse me. So anyway, we're going to do that. We're still looking at that Sunday. I hope that's the day we're able to get back together, but we'll have lots more communication as we go along about that. But you begin to pray, and for us particularly, and for pastors around the state, as we make decisions on what that looks like for each of us, and how we make preparations and wise plans for all of that. I'm excited, but I'll tell you, as I get to thinking about the questions, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming. But I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll be back together then. And then number three is our blood drive. And Wednesday, this week, day after tomorrow, is our Red Cross blood drive. It's from noon to 4. You must have an appointment, and you make those appointments at redcrossblood.org. What a fun thing to type in. But you make those appointments, and you can come and donate blood, or they have a couple of ways you can do that. One is a regular blood donation, and then one is something they call a Power Red, and you can read about that on their website. But you do have to have an appointment. I think you can call also, but if you're getting this, you probably have internet access, and that's probably just as easy to search for us by our zip code, and then look for our blood drive on Wednesday, noon to 4. Several times are taken up, but at the same time, there are most times there's at least one slot available for you to make an appointment, and we would love to have you come and support our hospitals and doctors and nurses, our healthcare industry, with a donation of blood at this time, if at all possible. And of course, Red Cross is going to take care of handling all of the social distancing restrictions, but this is, of course, an essential activity. And so it's okay to host. They're going to take care of all of it. You will not be at risk. If you try to walk in, they will make you wait in your car until there's an appointment available, because they are going to be very careful about the number of people in the building, limitations, about social distancing, about all of the precautions that they have to take to keep you safe and them safe. So be aware of that. Participate if you can. Pray for those who are participating, and for these folks who also, of course, are on the front lines of fighting medical emergencies of all kinds, but certainly included in that are COVID-19, and in these Red Cross workers who are getting blood and others like them across the nation. Well, I'm excited, of course, to be looking forward to a day when this will be different, when we'll be back together in person. But even at that, I want to encourage you, be reaching out, be contacting folks. If you think of them, you call them, because we all need to be cared for, and we all need to be diligent in caring for each other. There's just a lot going on for a lot of folks in terms of dealing with now the fourth or fifth week of being in a shelter in place order, kids not going to school. All of life is different. So anytime you have a chance to call or text or email or Facebook or whatever, some encouragement to one of your brothers and sisters in Christ, I encourage you to do that. And once again, we'll see you. Be looking tomorrow for another video, particularly on Realm, to get to meet Ben and Peggy and the girls. And man, am I excited about them. We'll see you very soon.